Welcome to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures, with thought leader and award-winning author Yvette Bethel. This podcast provides you with insights and ideas you can use to reinvent your culture through trust and the principles of interconnectivity, flow, and balance. At a time when the world is rewriting the rules of work, traditional leadership practices are not enough. It's time to perceive persistent challenges through a new lens. It's time to evolve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. This is your host, Yvette Bethel, and the topic for this episode of Evolve is building your dream team without starting from scratch. And with us, we have COO and author Jill Valdez. And Jill is the founder and COO at Link. They support leaders with strategies to build their dream teams, which results in increased employee retention, better reputation in the community, a phenomenal workplace culture, reduced operational costs, improved effectiveness and efficiency. She's the author of Confident Leadership, How to Be a Confident Leader of a Committed Team Providing Stellar Service. And she's also the author of the #1 tool for motivating employees. Maybe that's a topic for our next conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Jill may sound like a very serious businesswoman, but you will quickly find out that she enjoys people and loves to make their day brighter. Her free time is filled with outdoor activities like kayaking, fishing, crocheting, and spending time with family and friends. Hello, Jill, and welcome welcome.
It's so great to be here. I always enjoy our conversations.
Oh, me too. So, Jill, just set us up here and tell us a bit about the path that led you to work with clients to create dream teams without starting from scratch.
Yeah, thank you. And first off, I apologize. My allergies are off the chart today. I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver some medicine. So my background is I was a pastor for 17 years, and that was a full-time thing that I was doing. And when I was doing that, my staff were all volunteers. I didn't get to motivate them with a paycheck. I didn't get to say, oh, you better show up on Sunday morning or else. Or else what, right? Or else I'm going to have to go find somebody else who's probably not going to be the best fit, or I'm going to end up having to do whatever it was that they were supposed to be doing. Right. And so it taught me how to engage with people. It taught me how to take their passion and their personality and what they're really good at and make sure that they were in the right position and that they were serving in the right place. Mm-hmm. And then also that they understood the importance of the work that they were doing, and to the success of the work that we were doing. When I left full-time ministry, I thought the business leaders had that all figured out. I know that church leadership can tend to be a little behind the times when it comes to outside leadership. And so again, I thought that companies had that figured out. And I quickly found that that was not the case. And so I was the associate director of HR, and I was working for this company. I was just doing my thing. And the president of the company said, Jill, what you've done for me and for my people and for my company, you need to be doing not as an employee and definitely not for one company at a time. He said, you need to go start your own agency. I had no idea what he was talking about. It took me quite a long time, almost 2 years, to really figure out what was he talking about, what did he see, and then how do I translate that and make that into a service that I can in fact work with other companies and help them with these issues. And then right about the time that I really got it all figured out and was super excited, like I knew my ideal client, I knew what I was doing, COVID hit. So it's been a little bit of a bumpy start, but here I am, and I love this opportunity, but that's how I got here.
So you talk about dream teams. And
Yeah.
from your perspective, what exactly is this? Is it something perfect? Is it something good? Like, what is a dream team?
Oh, a dream team definitely is not a perfect team where mistakes are never made. Everybody gets along. There's never any conflict. In fact, a dream team actually has some elements of the opposite of that. A dream team, though, is a team of people that is so committed to the work that the company is doing. They're committed to the vision, they're committed to the mission, they take ownership in their role. Um, I hear a lot of small business owners talk about how frustrated that they are that their team doesn't, they just don't seem to, be as bought in as I am. Well, you're right. They're not, and they never will be. They're not the owner of the company. So how about we give them a little bit of slack on that? But a dream team is super committed. They do take ownership. They recognize that the work that they're doing is contributing to the success of the company. And a dream team is going to have elements like trust. They're going to be very trusting of each other. Not to say that they're all best friends, because with different personalities and with different people, that's not always going to be possible. But they respect each other and they can work well with each other and they trust each other. They trust each other enough to have healthy conflict, and they trust each other enough to hold each other accountable. And so those are really the big elements of what makes up a dream team.
Hmm. I'm curious about the fact that you focus on creating dream teams and you kind of qualify it by saying with the people you have. And can you tell us a story that illustrates how a company can, briefly, how they can achieve a goal like this? Because most times, they're not willing to do that.
Yeah. The lack of willingness, what I'm finding the more and more that I'm doing this, is it comes from a fear of not knowing how to do it. And this misperception that here we are, we've got these people, we're stuck with them, and there's nothing more that we can do. And where would I even begin? Like it would be so much easier if I could just let everybody go and hire this dream team. Well, okay. Yes and no, because if you let everybody go, then who's going to be doing the work? You're going to be building from scratch. You're going to be starting all over again. If you take the people that you have right now and you begin to look at who they are, like really delve into who they are. Thinking about, I remember especially in elementary school and even like middle school, we used to have to do diagrams of a sentence. Here's the verb, here's the noun, here's the adverb, adjective, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go through a process kind of similar to that with the people that you have. What is their personality? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How do they contribute to the team? How do they detract from the team? What is their commitment level? Do they understand the job that they're doing? Do they buy into the core values of who we are as the company? When you have a clear understanding of who your people are, then you can start investing and coaching them to who you want them to be. The other thing that's super foundational for having a dream team is this fact. When companies are putting together their organization chart, what I see so frequently, especially in small businesses, which is the place that I love to hang out, they tend to they change them all the time because they base it on the people that they have, as opposed to what is really going to set them up for organizational success. So if you were to take all that and kind of lay it aside and go, okay, one day, if conditions were perfect, this is what the organization chart would look like. And then you develop the competencies and you say, these are the competencies necessary for the person in this role. And then you go back to the assessment that you've done and the understanding that you have about the people that you have. And you go, okay, based on their personality, based on their competencies, based on their desires, based on what they do well, all the things that I've learned about them. This is going to be the best role for them. And so then you can start positioning them. You set them up for success. When you set people up for success, then they start thriving. And when they're thriving, they're excited to come to work. They're coming in and they're going to be like, wow, what do I get to do today? What opportunities are going to come my way today that are best set up for who I am, that allows me to be my best, that allows me to be making the best contribution to the company. So you don't have to start from scratch. It really is about looking at who you have and then coaching them to who they want to be. People development should always be a part of any business. And so when you're doing that people development aspect, it is not only preparing them for a next role, but it's even just setting them up, continuing to set them up for success in their current role.
You mentioned kind of analysis, and some organizations use personality tests, but in listening to you, it sounds like that's not enough. You have to dig a little deeper. The personality test give you some information, but you really have to dig into other aspects of the person and their contribution and their skills and everything, and have a full picture
Yes.
of their capacity, because I think some organizations stop at the test. And
For sure.
so what's your take on that?
Yeah. You cannot say, oh, this one thing is going to be the all in all to accurately give us a picture of who a person is. Because yes, personality assessments are incredibly valuable. They help you understand people better, their motivation, how they behave, maybe even why they behave the way that they do. But there's still so much more. I mean, when I teach about personality to companies, there's sweeping generalizations when you're talking about personalities, because there's anomalies for everything.
Right.
We call them the unicorns, and so people are so much more than just their personality. Like if somebody just judged me based on my personality, they'd be missing out on a whole lot about who I am.
Exactly.
Because I have talents that my personality doesn't necessarily say, oh, well, that of course you have that as a talent. I have a client right now that I'm working with, and I've looked at their personality assessment, and then I looked at the history of how their company got started. And it got started based on an action that he took that was incredibly sympathetic and very people focused. And I was shocked because the two did not correlate at all. His personality and who that states that how he behaves didn't align with that particular action. And yet it revealed a core piece of his motivator. It showed me like there's so much more to him. And so that's why you can't just go, oh, well, they're this personality, and so that's who they are. No, people are so much more. And there's tools like, there's a book by Gino Wickham. It's called Traction. And in it, he has, and I use this very frequently, it's an objective way to assess, do I have the right people in the right roles? And should they even be with the company?
Oh, I'm glad you're saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of it? Traction?
The book is called Traction.
Because you did say there are anomalies for everything. And so there are situations where the person is not suitable for the team anymore or the company.
Yes, absolutely. Not only are you wanting to measure personality and if they can but you want to be looking at, can they do the job? Do they have within them, like, how do you rate their core competencies that are necessary for the job? It sounds like a lot of work sometimes, but when companies can, again, define what the core competencies are for a role, then they get to go, oh, this person, this is not something that they're able to do, or it is something that they are so phenomenal at. Again, it's just another way to look at how do we know that we have the right people in the right role.
I'm going to take this to the next level, the same question around fit, because there are some organizations that I've come across where there's a lot of corruption. And as you know, with corruption, multiple people tend to be involved because it's an end-to-end process, and they need other people to buy in for it to work.
Yeah.
How have you built teams within this context where, they're obviously you may have to terminate more people than you would like to, but it's necessary because of the losses?
Yeah. There's a saying, hire slow, fire fast. And if you have people who are disruptive to the company, you've got to get rid of them for so many reasons. I mean, for one, you don't know the actual financial toll that it's taking by having those people staying with your company. But the bigger issue is the toll that it's taking on the rest of the team. Because everybody knows, right? People, I've worked in small businesses, I've worked with larger companies, and when things are not right, people know, and they all talk to each other, right? They talk about the water cooler discussions, oh, did you hear that? It is costing you because your good people are sitting back and going, what the heck? Like, you're tolerating this corrupt behavior. And here I am giving my best, and it's getting overlooked because all of your energy is focused on this person who's being so disruptive. It affects workplace culture. It affects team morale. When you can't hold other people accountable if you're not holding everybody accountable. And it may hurt in the initial action. I equate it to pruning. I do like to garden, and I equate it to pruning, right? You have to, I remember the first time moved into a new place, and there were these bushes, and my father-in-law, he looks at me and he goes, those are trees, right? And I'm like, Papa, I don't think so. Look, they're bushes. And he goes, no, mija, they're trees. And he got in there and he pruned them, and he made them, it looked a little ugly to begin with. Not going to lie. I was like, oh my gosh, what has he done? But over time, and especially once, we got back into the spring season where everything started to bloom, they were gorgeous. And so it may hurt, and it may be like, ugh, so painful to begin with. But here's the thing. The people who are waiting for you to do this, they're going to champion and cheer for you when you do. And you can go to them and say, hey, I apologize. I recognize that we let this behavior go on too long, and I'm sorry for that. I know that this has had a toll on all of us as a company. I want us to move forward. And because I've taken this action, because we no longer have this person here or these people here, we're all going to kind of have to step up a little bit. And so I'm asking you to join me on this journey as we continue to heal and get ready for our next level of growth. And good people will stay with you and absolutely jump in.
Oh, with that hire slow and fire fast, we have Jill Valdez with us, and this is your host, Yvette Bethel, and we will be right back after this message.
Organizational Soul is a mission-driven organization and network where we specialize in trust in academia, families, and organizations. We are building a community of leaders who are interested in trust and culture. If you are interested in our updates, you can sign up for our newsletter at orgsoul.com. As a thank you for joining our community, you can access our free resources that are designed to help you build your brand as a trusted leader as you contribute to safe space. Sign up now at orgsoul.com.
And we're back. Welcome back to Evolve. Our guest is COO and author Jill Valdez. Welcome back, Jill.
Thanks. It's great to be here, Yvette.
You mentioned trust earlier. How do you go about building trust?
Trust can be tricky. What I find more and more is you have people, when they're coming into a new company, they are carrying a lot of baggage. Most of the time, they've been at another company that did not treat them well. So they're reserved, they're hesitant, they're kind of sitting back like, you say you're a great place to work, but I need to find this out for myself. How you build trust is in building relationship. There is a level of disclosure that you give to people and that you ask for back that can begin to build that foundation of trust. And then what keeps building and solidifying that trust is your consistent behavior. Consistently doing and saying what you said that you're going to do. Those are the two biggest ways to build trust. And it takes time, and that's the struggle. We live in a microwave society. Like, oh my gosh, our team should be amazing. We should be amazing right now because, we thought about being amazing. No. Oh, we had a consultant come in and they did this workshop and now we're going to be amazing. No. Great start, but it takes time. And so as that is happening, looking back, and even for leaders to document what has worked well, to document what has not worked well. That's another part of building trust, is going, oh, you know what? I made a mistake. Or that did not work out as well as I had thought. My type of personality, I will jump in with both feet and just go and be like, yeah, I'm kind of figuring this out as I go along. A lot of people don't thrive in that environment. I continue to assure them that it's all going to be okay. I've been doing this for 30 years and I haven't killed anybody yet. I haven't put any businesses out of business yet. And so we're all going to be okay. But if I make a mistake, I am the first one to admit it. Oh, you guys. And I've had to do that. I've had to do that with my own team. We, when I was the executive director of a food distribution organization, I was always wanting to try new things because we were growing and we wanted to keep growing and we wanted to keep doing great work in the community. And so I'm all about trying new things. And there were times where I'd have to go back to them and go, yeah, so I thought that if we did that reorganization, that was going to work really well. And that just bombed really badly. And for them to hear me as the leader say, man, that was bad. I made a mistake. What it does is it lays the opportunity for them to feel free to come to me and go, hey, Jill, you said I could try this, and I tried, and I don't think it worked out really well. I already know that it didn't work out really well. If I'm the leader, I'm like, I already know that. But for them to know that they can come to me and say, this didn't work, that just creates that level of safety. And in that safety, that's where you continue to build trust.
When you think about, my next question was really about mistakes.
I make them all the time.
But when you think about a project or a client that you've worked with, and you're trying to work with, build their dream team with the people that they have, and it didn't quite work out the way that you expected. How did you manage that? Because I think sometimes it doesn't work out. And what is your advice?
Yeah, I had that. I worked with a client, and there was definitely miscommunication on my part and on the part of the company of what they really wanted and how I was planning to deliver that. I learned a lot from that. And I went to them and I told them, hey, I take responsibility for my action. And we walked away, we ended the engagement and walked away. And I look back on that and I go, man, that wasn't something that I look back on and go, yeah, that was a win, because I didn't get my objective. And sometimes that happens. If you're not able to build your dream team, the question that you and I would ask is why? What happened? What's going on? And we would do an analysis of where things are breaking down, why this isn't possible. Sometimes it's not possible because of the people that you have. And so then what's the next action that it's going to take? Sometimes, and this is not always an easy conversation, it's going to happen because you're not the right leader for the team. And so then we need to start talking about what are your next steps. And sometimes it happens, I've seen this with a potential client that I've just been working with quite a lot because I think she's a great person. Sometimes it's because of the people above you not providing the support, not providing the direction. And in that case, you have two choices. You can continue to stay. It's going to take a toll. It's going to take a toll on you. You're going to continue to see a lot of the same struggles, or you can say this isn't the right environment for me, and I'm going to look for something else where my strengths and my passion and my vision are going to be better suited.
I think too, depending on the industry, it may be difficult. The job pool may not yield the skills or the talent that you need. What do you suggest in situations like that?
Yeah. Sometimes companies have to work with a very lean crew while they're working, because what I appreciate is that then you have people who are looking for the right role or the right person, as opposed to just putting in a warm body. I will always say, please don't put in a warm body, just a warm body. And that's where communication is so important. Letting your team know, hey, I know that this is a struggle. I know that we're all wearing multiple hats right now. We want to make sure that we get the right person. And right now, here are the issues that we're coming up against. And even asking them, like, if you were me, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
How can we invite them in to be a part of the solution and in that conversation? But acknowledging it and not just sweeping it under the rug, and not being so dismissive, like, oh, people just don't want to work, or everybody's having this problem, so we just need to suck it up. Like, yes, finding good talent is a challenge sometimes. And we're going to keep being our best, so that when we do get that right person, they're going to come in, and then we're going to be able to grow things to the next level. And again, you just affirm, this might not happen overnight. This could possibly take some time, but I'm committed to your well-being. I'm committed to the work that we're doing, and I'm committed to rewarding you when we do get the right person.
Sometimes you can have a team that is your dream team, and then in 2020 a pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And everybody, most people were working from home globally. And when it was time to come back, they didn't want to. They had a new lifestyle, something that they never experienced before, but it made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense, but they came back begrudgingly. And so the team that left is no longer the team that's back, because now they have this resentment.
Right.
How do you build something with that kind of dynamic? Because it's almost like a longing, it's a need that they didn't know that they needed until it happened. And now they feel that this need is not being met. So how do you manage that?
If an employee feels that their needs are not being met, they're not bringing their best, then that requires leaders to sit back and say, does this person, and you can take it on a case-by-case basis, this person and the role that they have and the contribution that they make to the company, is it absolutely necessary for them to be on site? Is it necessary for them? Can we maybe make this hybrid? Can we make this fully remote? And then from there, the answer to that question then determines, it's unfortunate because you might look at this employee and go, they are my dream team. Like they are it. I don't want to lose them. Well, if that's true, what's the compromise? And again, drawing that person into the conversation, asking them, how can we resolve this? Because I need you happy. I want you happy. I want you to feel satisfied in the work that you're doing. And I need you in the office full time. What do we do here? And it may come to where the decision is the person says, I can't do this anymore. I love working from home. The benefits that it's brought to me, all the things. And so if that's the case, then you start looking for their replacement.
Ah, yes. Makes sense.
People are like, stop it. Don't say that.
A lot of people don't want to do that, I think, because, and sometimes, I mean, you mentioned, kind of considering each case singularly, but oftentimes there are other people that are watching who also want to work from home, and then it starts this whole domino effect, like, well, can I work from home too? And then,
Yep.
So the decision should be made with that in mind. Like if you are asked if one person is asking, that means several people are thinking it. And so what exactly is what are you prepared to do at a macro level, not at an individual level?
Yeah. And that's what they, if they're starting to hear rumblings of that, they do need to, the business owner needs to take a step back and say, okay, this is not going away. That pandemic changed all of us and how we do things. So the idea of working from home, the idea of hybrid work environment and work roles, that is not going away. And so if you're hearing it in your company, if you know that it's going to help you have people that are more engaged,
right,
then you need to start thinking outside the box, where I maintain the highest quality work that's being done, and yet I'm also keeping my team satisfied and fulfilled, and that their needs are being met. The question is if you're mandating that people are in the office all the time, is it because you don't trust them? If you don't trust them, you already have a crack in your foundation of your dream team, and you need to go back and start building that. You need to go back and ask why do I not trust them? And if it's just who you are by nature, or if it's, well, there's been behaviors, or, whatever the answer is to that, then coming up with solutions on how to overcome that.
All right. As a final question, when it comes to building a dream team without starting over, if you'd like to leave something with our audience that they should always remember, what would that be?
Remember that it's going to take time, and it's going to take investment in people. Remember that it is possible. It's not a pipe dream, and it's not something that's so far out there that you can't really think about achieving it. You can start taking steps today and begin to start seeing incremental progress, and build on that every day, so that then when you look back 6 months from now, you can go, wow, look at the progress that we've made. Look at how far along we've come. Look at the things that we're doing now, and keep building on that, and keep moving forward until your dream team is 100% the dream team.
Yes. And with that, I'd like to thank you, Jill, for our interview. Your insights will certainly support our audience with building their dream teams. And before we go, can you just share with the audience how they can connect with you?
Yeah, I am very active on LinkedIn, so that you can always find me on LinkedIn. And then if you go to linkconsulting.info, there are opportunities for you to connect with me. You also, for all your listeners, if you go to the website, you will have the opportunity to download for free my ebook, It's called Confident Leadership: How to Be a Confident Leader of a Committed Team Providing Stellar Service.
Okay, great. So this has been Yvette Bethel and Jill Valdez, and we'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us on Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures.
Thank you for listening to Evolve, Reinventing Leadership, Building Freedom Cultures. Learn more about our proprietary trust, leadership, and culture courses and certifications at the IFB Academy. You can check them out at organizationalsoul.learnworlds.com.